Welcome back to episode 7 of NYR After Dark, a late night Rangers talk for the fans who never log off. Today we're going to do a bunch of different things. We've got a deep dive into a Rangers prospect. Both Ivan and I picked a different prospect to kind of dive into, to give you a little more background just for some of the fans who maybe don't know some of the details about them. We're going to get into some of the potential future extensions. We've got some guys coming up becoming RFAs, right? We've got some contracts ending, so kind of taking a look into what the mindset may be for their extensions. And then we have a quick little build your lineup game that I'm going to kind of put Ivan through. We'll also be posting this to X, Instagram, TikTok, all of that, so you guys can play along too if you'd like to. First, before we get into any of that, though, we played a game of Ranger Roulette on X Twitter, and a lot of engagement, a lot of great responses. Some of you guys pulling some players out of the woodworks, which was awesome to see. So basically the goal for this was just to find the most random out-of-pocket Rangers player that you could think of from all of Rangers time. So I actually let Ivan do the honors of picking. So who do we got, Ivan?
So like you said, I think we had like 71 comments of just like random players. There were some players I've never heard about. There was some players it was like a D-man who played like 18 games with the Rangers. Like there was a lot of random ones. The person I chose was J. Huz Finn, and just because he picked Mackenzie Skapski, and I just remember him playing because he also called him the Buffalo Killer, and I remember him playing only 2 games for the Rangers, both against Buffalo, got a shutout in one game, and then I think let up 1 goal in the other game. And it just brought me back. And then I actually looked up his stats because I was just like, I wonder what happened to Mackenzie Skapski. If you're going to end your career, he ended it on such a good note. Like he only played those 2 games in his NHL career for the Rangers, never played anywhere else. His career stats, 978 save percentage and a .50 goals against, and he has 2 wins, no losses. I mean, if you're gonna play in the NHL and then leave quickly, that's the record you want. So
yeah, burn bright, not for a long time, but burn bright, baby. I love it.
Yeah,
that's a great pick.
That one brought me back. The other one I liked was Emerson Edom, just because it reminded me on how bad that Carl Hagelin trade ended up being. But Skapski, that was my choice right there. I like that one.
Yeah, it's awesome. And thank you guys so much for those responses. That was great to see. Great engagement, especially because we know we're coming into the lull of the offseason here. You know, hockey Twitter, hockey social media in general is kind of dead right now. There's not a lot of big news. So great job engaging you guys. Has been awesome. So let's get into our prospect deep dive. So we each picked a player. Ivan picked Cole Bodwin. I picked Tomas Trenko. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but Ivan, what did you got on Cole Bodwin? Maybe just to give some of our listeners like a little bit deeper of a dive for those who don't really know about him.
Yeah, so a little insight on him. He's 6'2", 212 pounds. Plays a relentless physical game. 2-way center, elite net front presence. He might not be a player that like amazes you with numbers in the regular season, but like the way he plays, it's like he's a playoff player. So he kind of, I'm not going to compare their games like hand in hand, but like it's kind of like Sam Bennett in a sense, where like Sam Bennett, like he's not putting up 90 points a year in Florida, but when it comes to the playoff times, he's like one of their best players because he's
physical presence.
Exactly. He plays, playoff hockey. For Sam Bennett, he's a pest and everything like that. Like he's hard to play against, and that's what Cole Bodwin is. So like, I feel like that's where like I'm really excited to see him play. Like eventually, when hopefully like he comes to the NHL, like he's a mainstay in our lineup and stuff like that. We get back to the playoffs. I just feel like he has like the perfect, game for the playoffs. And then just a few things about him. So he was drafted by Utah, first round, 2024. He was the 24th pick. Thought it was kind of funny because actually Bob McKenzie had him ranked 23rd, and NHL Central Scouting had him ranked 25th. So he literally went right in between that.
Right in the middle.
Yeah. And then something else I didn't know about him is Utah actually traded up, which isn't the surprising part. I thought I was surprised the return to move up. Like they gave up the 38th pick, the 71st overall pick, and then a future 2025 second round pick just to move up to 24. And I feel like it's usually like 2 picks and then you swap the 1 pick, but I feel like that extra second round pick, it's like Utah really wanted this guy.
Yeah, they must have been worried that he was getting taken.
Yeah, and obviously they took him at 24, and then something funny that I read online that I never saw before was when he was during his draft year when he was playing for the very Colts. Apparently, they posted a video on their social media account, and it was of him like working out, lifting weights, and stuff like that. And apparently, a bunch of NHL teams reached out to their organization and asked if the video was like fraudulent, if it was like digitally faked or whatever, because he was like apparently lifting a lot of weights. And then I was curious, so I was just like, I have to see this video. I'm kind of impressed. I was telling you before he was squatting like a 45 pound weights on each side, and I was just like, okay, this guy's he doesn't look like that strong, but I mean, I can't do that. So he's pretty strong in my eyes. So I was actually pretty impressed with that, and I thought that was actually a funny story. But
No,
yeah,
that's awesome.
that's what I got on him.
No, it's great. I'm really excited for him, and my hopes for him at least this season are, maybe to start off in Hartford, and then somewhere later down the line, maybe he gets a shot somewhere. I would say probably middle six,
Mhm.
whether that's center or wing. We know you're high on the centers, but if we drop Lob in the fourth line or put him in the third, somewhere in there, or even that second line right wing spot, who knows? Just maybe they toss it up for everybody. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So Tomas Trenko. Okay. For us, we drafted him this year in the third round at 81 overall. Um, his rankings were kind of all over the board. Okay. I've seen everything as low as 24 and then everything up to like 85. So he was really kind of all over the place. He was born in 2007, so he's 18. He was born in Nitra, Slovakia. He's from Slovakia, obviously. He's 5'11, 172. He plays center and he's a right-handed shooter. Um, this is a guy where it seems like pretty much on all the scouting reports, his skills are off the charts. I mean, it's one of those things where I think that's why his rankings, as far as everybody else ranking him, it was so varied because it kind of depends on what you saw when you watched his game. But he's got a lot of accolades. I mean, in my opinion, a steal at 81. So he has in 2022, 2023, he won the Slovakia U18 silver medal. In 23, 24, he had in the U20 team the most assists at 44 for Team Slovakia. 24, 25, he had the best plus minus for Team Slovakia U20 and won a bronze medal with Slovakia for U20. And then on top of that, he was also the U18 World Junior Championship top 3 player on the team. And then in 25, 26, this past season, he was the Extra Liga champion, which is the Slovakian league. Uh, Most points by a junior, which is 31 in the Slovakian league. And again, U20 World Junior Championship top 3 player on the team. So this is a guy with a lot of success. And again, like he's just he's a gamer. He's a warrior. He's one of these guys that like comes in and you just see the drive immediately. Do I think he's one of those people that will make a shot at making the team this year? Probably not. Um, but never say never.
Mhm.
It's absolutely possible. I could see them kind of making it. If he has let's say he has a great camp and a great preseason, or even just like a great run in Hartford. I could see this guy like making the team eventually this year. So, and if not, no big deal. Like we develop him a little more, and again, he's pick 81, so you're not really expecting him to make an impact immediately, but
Yeah.
within the near future. So,
Yeah. I
a
think.
lot to be excited about.
Yeah. I don't know if he's playing in Hartford this year. I think he's still playing overseas. So I don't think he's gonna make the team this year. But um, what was I gonna say? Oh, like I feel like this is the type of player you like take a stab at that
Yeah,
late into the draft or
yeah,
whatever. Like he's still technically like a project. Like you don't know how he's gonna turn out, but like he's got a high upside. And like the Rangers, they might suck at drafting in the first round, but they're pretty good drafting after that. Like they don't
yeah.
find that like they don't always find that star potential, but they do hit on some of their prospects when it comes to like depth pieces and stuff like that. And I mean, like you never know. Like Kucherov was drafted late, and look how he ended up being. I'm not comparing the two of
Right.
them, but like it's just like you never
No,
know.
but you
And
never know. Yeah,
exactly, and he's an international player. Like obviously, like us, we don't have eyes. Like before the draft, never even heard of the kid, never had eyes on him or anything like that. So you kind of just have to trust the Rangers there and hope he hits. You know.
for sure. And the only reason I say he may be in Hartford this year is because he did come over for rookie camp,
Mhm.
which they did, I believe, it was a month ago. maybe a little less. He was over here for that. So
Yeah,
I just thought going from Slovakia to here, I don't see you flying back and forth too much, but who knows? Let's see.
yeah.
Um, so again, a lot of exciting prospects this year, just kind of overall, lots of um I'm just so excited for hockey, dude. I mean, like, I feel like I'm getting the itch again. We're getting to the point where, we were talking about maybe going to see a Hartford game. Like, these are the things that, like, I'm just excited to do. I'm wearing my Dorofeyev jersey. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready. How are you feeling? You feeling ready for the season? I mean, it's getting
I'm
there.
just I'm just itching for it. I just want the season to start so bad. Like I forgot I think it was last week I read a tweet. It was just like only like 6 more Sundays until hockey, and I'm just like that made me feel better. That seems like such a small number.
I know. I can't wait there. I can't
Yeah.
wait. So let's move on to some of these guys who are coming up on maybe becoming RFA or their contracts just expiring and they're gonna get some extensions. So we've got a couple different guys to look at. We're gonna kind of go in order here. So player number one, we got Yaro Hamilash. His current contract sits at $942,500 a year. Um, what did you have for as far as term goes? I mean, obviously, just as a disclaimer here, these are all dependent on like performance and on other little moves that may be made. What did you have for term for Yaro potentially coming into the new
Yeah.
contract?
So one thing I do want to point out first is the Rangers only have 4 forwards signed, extending to 27, 28.
For
So it's just like some of these players, are we going to sign them long term? Are we going to sign to short term deals, bridge deals, whatever? Yarrow, I feel like Yarrow's actually the simplest one out of all of them. Like
me too.
he had a few good games, obviously last year. This year, I feel like he's going to be in that revolving door rotation on the fourth line and stuff like that. And I'm not saying he's gonna have a bad year or anything like that, but he's not gonna play enough to like prove to get like a raise or anything like that. Like he's only making 950K this year. I can see this being an easy, just like 2 times 1, like just making 1 mil, gets a little bit of a raise, 2 years to kind of like prove yourself. Might be, I think it would probably be a two-way deal. Also, like he could be sent down or whatever, because like I said, he just hasn't played enough games to like prove that he like deserves a contract. Like, this isn't Gabe. This is he's a
Right.
fourth liner and stuff like that. And obviously for the Rangers, you or for any team, like you don't want to sign your fourth liners for a lot of money and stuff like that. So I feel like
Right.
this is probably the simplest one, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I have him be, and for me, for him, I kind of pictured Yarrow having a good season. I pictured him starting off on that revolving door down on the fourth line, and then he kind of becomes a staple on the right wing.
Mhm.
I think Sully loves him. I think his play style is phenomenal because he is not afraid to be a little bit physical, but on top of that, he's got some silky mitts, dude. I mean, you watch some of the moves he makes, you're kind of like, that's a fourth liner. That's crazy. Like he could arguably play third line if there was a spot. You know what I mean? So I have him getting a little bit longer term. I have him getting 3 to 4 years because I think they like him and he becomes a staple in the bottom six at least. And then I also have him kind of like you said, maybe getting 1 mil. I also have maybe 1.5. I had a range here just because of the cap uh kind of inflating and them being willing to spend a little bit more on like a younger guy like him who kind of fits all those little details that we want, right? We want a physical guy, we want a guy who can score, and I think he's going to be able to achieve all of those. On top of that, he's so young, like it doesn't really hurt to sign him to 3 to 4 years. Even if he ends up as our 13th forward, we're still in a good place.
Yeah, the reason why I say two is I just think we like bridge him 2 years, 1 mil,
Right.
and then it just takes him into like another year of restricted free agency, and then you see what happens after that. Do you want to
Yeah.
extend him or whatever? But I just don't. The reason why I say two is I don't think they jump that next restricted free agent window for him. But I like Yarrow. I think he's good. I just think he's still like he still has a lot to
Unproven.
prove. Yeah, he
Yeah,
still has
he's
a lot to
unproven
prove.
for
But
sure.
also, you know, the next player we talk about, I feel like has a big impact on Yarrow also. Um,
100%. So, I
yeah,
mean, we can get into it. We're talking about Matt Rempe, which
yeah,
is kind of a huge talking point right now. I think anyone who could be involved on the fourth line is a little bit of talking point here for the New York Rangers fans.
yeah,
Um, Purely for the fact that it's like you've got a lot of fourth line players. I mean, right, just in general, whether you're looking at Hartford here, and not to mention now Matt Rempe is ineligible to just for a two-way, like, he's gotta pass through waivers. So it's like, do you keep him as a maybe 13th, maybe revolving winger, or center even down on that fourth line, or do you risk sending him through waivers? There's a lot of stuff you can go with. So right now he's making 975,000. Um, I have him getting again. This is me saying, okay, he's going through revolving door this year. This is kind of contingent on Sakura maybe not doing so well this year, or maybe staying down in Hartford more so. I have him. I have Rumpy getting 2 to 3 years for term. Again, small. No, we're not committing long term to him and sitting around 1 mil. Maybe just a small increase, if anything. Just again, rising cap.
Yeah.
We only have 4 forward signed anyway. What'd you get?
Yeah, I feel like that's where a lot of our fourth liners, they're actually at a disadvantage because it's like we actually have a lot of players that can play in the bottom six. So it's just like if there's players like that are holding out or whatever and being like, "Oh, I want more money," Drury can easily be like, "Dude, there's someone right there that can replace you." Like
Right.
you could, I feel like Yarrow, Rempe, I feel like they really don't have much leverage. Obviously, Rempe had a down year last year. He was hurt most of the year and stuff like that. The year prior, the dude got more major penalties in the first like 10 games of his career than anybody I've seen before.
Yeah.
So he still has a lot of room for improvement and growth and stuff like that. He's a project piece, honestly, on your fourth line. Like it's nice when he's out there and he lays someone out. It's just like controlling that, like not
Absolutely.
getting and like also like I feel bad for him because some of his major penalties, like he's just a big dude, and when he's lining up for his
He
hit
he gets a bad rep. He gets a bad rep too.
and your elbow goes into someone's face because they're like shorter or bent down or whatever, like I mean, he has to learn how to control that. I'm not gonna,
For sure.
let him off on that. But for him, I have the same thing as Yarrow, which is because so if we give him a 2 year deal, that'll bring him to unrestricted free
Oh,
agency. So that's why I
right.
have him at 2 year. So I just have 2 times 1, like get a small raise there.
Sure.
And like I said, it brings him into unrestricted free agency in 2028, 2029. To be honest, I can't even see us like extending him after that. Like I can see him also getting traded at some point,
Absolutely. I
But
mean,
yeah,
let's look at the bright side though. He's 24 years old, right? He
yeah,
It's not like he has room to improve, but not time, right? He has
yeah,
time. He's 24.
yeah.
Again, he's uh, going to be bottom six for
Mhm.
probably the rest of his career, potentially just fourth line. So you're not looking for a huge progression out of him.
No,
We would just like to see you have a little more hockey skills and be more than just the hammer.
yeah.
Um, I will say Matt Rumpy did play at the Shoulder Check Showcase last Thursday. Um, Says he feels fully healthy. Thumb's great. He had to have, I think he said, 2 to 3 surgeries on that thumb, just from it not healing properly and little things like that, and it just not feeling right. But this kid's a fan favorite. Um,
Mm,
he really is just a presence when he's out there, and I would also love to see him and Yarrow on the same line. Like as much as I do want to see Sakura and Yarrow, just from the chemistry there, but like Rempe and Yarrow on the same line, like you're not messing with like a Gabe because they're gonna send the fourth line out, and now both wings are covered. Like you got two guys who are gonna come be physical. On top of that, I
yeah,
just I think Rempe knows his problems and knows his shortcomings and knows where he needs to improve. And I just don't see him being a guy who um, falls short, if that makes sense. Like he seems like a guy who loves New York, wants to play here for the entirety of his career if he can. He lived with Quickie. He's got a great relationship here, and he's just like feel like everyone loves him except for the people who absolutely fucking hate him. You know what
yeah.
I
I mean,
mean?
the people that hate him say that like he has no skill and everything like that. Like, I disagree there. I do think he actually does have some. I don't want to say like offensive skill, like comparing him to like a top line player, but like he
Right.
he can put the puck in the net, and he's a big dude. He lays the body and stuff like that. And I think also the Rangers need like a player like that who will drop gloves, like heavy hitter and stuff like that. I feel like we kind of lack that like toughness in our lineup in a sense. Like Trocheck, like he was a pest. Like JT Miller's a
Hmm.
dickhead, but like Matt Rempe, like there's that clip of I think he hit Ovi and Tom Wilson skates up to him and like says some stuff to him, and Rempe looks at him straight up and goes, "I'll hit whoever I want." Like, and I like that. Like, I like that. I think we need that toughness, and then also I like the combo of Rempe and Yarrow. I actually think the combo of Rempe and Yarrow is stronger than the combo of Rempe and Edstrom.
Edstrom, yeah.
Yeah, because I liked Edstrom. Nothing against him. I just feel like he did have inconsistencies in his game. Like some nights, he would look like you would notice him out there, and then there would be some nights you didn't notice him. And
Yep.
then like Yarrow, and I mean they do have small roles obviously, but like Yarrow, like like you said, he had silky mitts or whatever. I think he scored like 4 goals last year. I think 3 of them were on the backhand. Like he can put
Yeah,
the
you're
puck
gonna
in it.
notice him out there.
Yeah, you do notice him out there. I really like Yarrow, and I think that could be a good combo. Like we said, Rempe has holes in his game. He has to continue to prove himself, develop more, and like just play it. I don't want to say safer game, but like he does have to watch out for like the penalties and stuff like that. Because when we had him in our lineup, the penalties were killer sometimes. Um, but then also another thing with Rempe is, but I feel like this would come if he improved in that aspect. Is like his time on ice is like really low. Like his first whatever year, I think he was. I would have to look it up. But I think it's like 5 minutes time on ice. Like he was very much on a leash. He was very sheltered and stuff like that. So clearly he has to continue to prove himself. But I'm a Rempe fan, to be honest.
I agree. Hopefully, we see some good stuff from him this season.
Yeah.
Next, Ty Carte. Right now, he is currently making 1.25 mil. What do you have for him?
So his unrestricted free agent year is in 28, 29. So I think this is another thing where like he played great for us. I liked Cartier last year. I think he was a great pickup off waivers. He's kind of that player you like when you see players go on waivers, you kind of
Yeah,
just
you
like
hope
wish.
you get you hope you get a
Like
Carte.
yeah, like take a shot on him. Why not? Like we suck. Why not? He he did play beyond his role. I just want to let Ranger fans know. I know Cartier played well last year. He is not a second line player. He played well with JT, but that doesn't mean you play him on the second line. And he probably honestly he probably will get time on the second line because Sully did like that combo. But that doesn't mean he's this like staple on our second line now. We're like we're gonna sign him to this huge extension and keep him there.
Yeah,
Like
but JT came out and said he likes playing with Connor Sheary. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, dude. Like, this is
yeah,
I Rangers fans, I love you. I'm one of you. I have some shit takes too. Sometimes I know it. This is one that we're like no one in their right mind is saying Ty Carte is a second line player. Come
yeah.
on, he's a great, very effective third line player. You can't convince me he gets the call up before Cooley into the top six.
He's a serviceable player where if you need him to slot in your second line and play there or whatever, like he can do that. He's not a all 84 games he's locked in on your second line. And like you just said, like JT loved playing with Connor Sheary. That's why I think Cartier will get time on the second line because JT doesn't have that other guy that he was like, oh, I love playing with this guy. Even though I think JT will love playing with Bjorkstrand.
I hope so.
And I think he's elite defensively, and I think that'll help JT also because JT likes to give up on plays sometimes. So I think
different season, new season,
yeah,
new season.
I know. JT, number 10 coming back. That's the JT I love. But for Cartier, because he's going to be a free agent in 28, 29, I think the Rangers just give him a 1-year extension, and then just at like 2 mil or something like that, maybe 3 mil. It could be a prove it to me contract, or it could just be Rangers are going to see where they're at in 2028 and 2029. Like like I said, we only have 4 players signed till 27, 28 forwards. We have signed. And so that's going to give Drury a lot of room to maneuver and do stuff and see who should be locked up long term. Do I want to lock up Cartier right now? No. But if he was looking for stability and was willing to sign like a very cheap 4-year deal, I look at it as like the Will Borgen one where he signed a 5-year deal, but it was too much money. It was 5.5. But if like Cartier wanted like a 4-year deal and he was just like, oh, just give me like 3 mil a year with no trade protection, I'm like, take it. Like I'll sign that. And then, but bottom 6 role, not second line set or second line winger.
Yeah, for me, I have him for 1 to 2 years. And I have him because I think, again, like we said, he played a little bit above his role
Mhm.
last season. I have him sitting at 1.25. I don't think he gets more than that. I think the Rangers go to him and say, "Hey, listen, we like what you did. We like your play style because he's a fun player to watch. Like he's always in the mix, always hustling. Great player to have. He works well on the PK. I just I'll give him 1 to 2 years, and I think they go for a bridge deal at the same price where they're like, listen, like we just want to see and make sure before we lock you up long term, kind of like you're
Yeah.
saying. So I agree
Yeah,
with a lot of what you said.
I just think because of how much the cap's going up, he will get a boosted pay. But also,
Always
I
possible, yeah.
yeah, I just want to point out something else you said. How like like he played on the second line. Obviously, he was serviceable or whatever. But like Rangers sucked last year, so he was also like this is what fans forget. He was forced to kind of play second line because we were bad. We needed someone to go fill that role for a little bit. He played well with GT, and it stuck for a little bit. Just because that happened doesn't mean you keep him up there. Like he's like the I think we're talking about Cooley next. Cooley's one of those players where it's just like he is in my eyes, he's a third line guy on a Stanley Cup contender, but he's serviceable and he can play on the second line. But I love him on the third line, and that's kind of how I view Cartier. Like I love him on the third line. If he played fourth line, that'd be great. But I love him on the third line. But yeah, so that brings us into Cooley.
Sure. So we'll talk about Cooley next. So he's making 3.5 mil. Um, this is another guy who, for me, is heavily, heavily dependent on his performance this season. I think if we have the ability to keep him playing on that third line, I think he fits that role phenomenally. I
Mhm.
think he performs well. I think he earns himself a little bit of a raise. And I also think he gets himself some turn because we know they love him. And again, this is a guy with some scoring upside, right? Especially when you're talking about as a third line player, scoring upside leads the team in hits every year that he's been here. And not only that, he's usually top five in the league in hits. I
Mhm.
mean, this is a guy who still young, just like what the Rangers are looking for, honestly, just as a total package. So I think he gets a raise. I'm looking between 4 and 6 million again, depending on the cap, because I can see them saying we're willing to give him a little bit more percentage of like the cap increase. And I think we lock him up long term. I think we go 5 to 7, maybe a no trade list, but not a full no move. Um, and that's what I'm hoping for because again, I'm hopeful we can keep him on that third line with Noah Laba, who we'll talk about, um, because that combination, I think, of speed and physicality, it's going to be incredible as like an identity line, right, for the third
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. I also gave you the wrong number. He's making
I
3.9, not
Okay,
5.
3.9.
So my fault on that. But yeah, so he's making 3.9 right now. So I know people would normally say Gabe is their biggest concern when it comes to an extension, but I really think Cooley's my biggest fear when it comes to an extension. And I said this whatever, like a year or two ago before
Mm-hmm.
when he was a restricted free agent the first time. I was scared he was gonna get offer sheeted
Offer
because
sheeted. I thought the
yeah,
same thing.
because he's a player that like every team would want. And like he's not an expensive offer sheet. This isn't Leo Carlson. You're not giving up four, first round, five first round picks, whatever it is. He's like an offer sheet of like what's his name? Hayton from
Mm-hmm.
Utah
Barrett
that got
Hayton.
offer sheeted by Jersey. Like
Barrett Hayton.
and they lose like a second round pick or whatever. Like I feel like that's like if I'm a team, I'm looking at Cooley and I'm like, yo, I'm offer sheeting this guy. Like I want him on my team. And obviously the player has to sign the offer sheet, so we don't know if Cooley would sign that. But like he's a prime candidate in my opinion for an offer sheet. So that does scare me. Um, but then again, like so Cooley, obviously he's had back to back 20 goal seasons. So I think this year also very much matters. Like if he has another 20
Absolutely.
goal season, like that's he's gonna get a boost in his pay and stuff like that. Like you said, he's a physical player. He had 300 plus hits this year. He beat Ryan Callahan's season record for hits and stuff like that. He's consistently top five in the league. He great penalty killer, good defender. Like I said before, he's in my eyes he's a third liner, but he's a serviceable player where he can go play on your second line or whatever. Even if you needed to play on the first line or whatever, get down and dirty, get in the dirty areas, lay some bodies. He can do that for you. And I personally I love Cooley. I would love to see an extension. The extensions right now are a little weird because like So like right now we're going into you can only extend players to 7 years. I think that starts in like August or whatever. It's no longer 8 year deals. Um, so and a lot of players right now are signing for 5 year deals. So when I did mine, I actually put like Cooley signs a 5 year deal at like 6 to 6.5 mil. Like I would be very comfortable with that extension for Cooley. I think he just brings a lot to the team. He does everything. Like I said, goes to the dirty area, good defender and stuff like that. And I even feel like he can like be more of a leader on this team too. I'm not giving him an A, but like, or actually, I would.
Well, it's
I
funny
would.
you say that. It's funny you say that. I had someone on X actually respond to us and say, "I think Cooley gets an A,"
I could see.
and
I could see Cooley getting an A.
I agree with you. I don't think this season, and
Yeah,
I think that's just me kind of saying like I didn't love the whole fucking everybody gets an A thing.
yeah,
I think we should probably tone it back a little bit.
yeah,
But for me, he's the next guy up. I
yeah.
mean,
This is not me being a laugh homer, but I would give Laugh an A. But
I
just
give
saying,
Cooley an A before Laugh, purely
I
because I want Laugh to focus on hockey. Don't
yeah,
worry
but
about being a leader. You worry about getting yourself to the echelon that we know you deserve to be at,
yeah,
in my opinion.
I mean, no, you're not wrong. I mean, you make a good point. Cooley's just the way I look. Like, I wouldn't give Cooley an A next year because what is he going into his fourth year next year, third year, or whatever it is. So like, I feel like he still needs some time or whatever. And also like, if you're giving someone an A, I feel like you want to give him like he needs term on his contract to give someone an A.
No, I agree with you.
So yeah, so we're on the same page there. But like I said, I want to extend Cooley. I would love to extend him to 7 years to be honest. Like he's young, like I said, does everything and stuff like that. Like I just for whatever reason see like a 5 times 6 kind of thing. And like I said, with the cap going up, this stuff's crazy. Like if imagine Cooley puts up like a 30 goal season, like
What you're right. He could.
yeah, that like
He could.
boosts his number more because like right now me and you and I think like on daily faceoff or whatever they have him linked on that third line, but like Sully, he likes to experiment a little bit and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens, but I'm comfortable with that number.
I agree with you. All right, so let's move on to Laba. So Laba is currently making 945K a year. I think this is a guy who continues to impress. I think he continues to impress as a bottom six center,
Mm.
which I I see him in the near future making way for a younger prospect like a Bodwin, right? I can see Bodwin coming in taking his Lava's third line center spot, and then Lava being like our mainstay fourth line center. Like you're not only happy to have him, you're like excited to have him as your fourth line. You're like, that's a great fourth line center. I see him getting 4 to 5 years. I think we lock him up for quite a bit. I think he gets zero protection, obviously, being a bottom six player. And I would give him 1 to 1.5 mil. Again, maybe even two with the cap rising if you're gonna go for term like that.
Yeah.
What do you think about
So
Lava?
I think for Lava's sake, I don't think he would sign a 4 or 5 year deal at 1.5 mil because I feel like as a player you're gonna want to like prove yourself kind of thing. So I would feel like for him he would want to go for a bridge. So I put he's obviously an RFA or whatever. So I have him going for a bridge, 2 years, 2 mil, 2.5 mil, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like we can't forget this was his rookie year, and
Hmm.
he had a very good rookie year. Obviously, had a strong performance in camp.
Yeah,
Made
came
the
out of
roster.
nowhere.
Yeah, it made the
Right.
roster out of camp. I mean, like, yeah, I remember when, like, during camp, I remember there was talks like, oh, he might make it out of camp. And for whatever reason, I was just like, nah, I don't think he's going to. We have Mika, JT, and Trocheck, like, playing down the middle. But then Mika playing on the wing with JT or whatever is kind of what opened that third line slot for
Yeah.
him. And I mean, timing is everything. So like that timing was perfect for Laba, and he came in and he impressed me. I think he had a quieter like second half, like he did get hurt and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
But like the first half, I thought he was very good. Like again, kind of same thing with Cooley in the sense like he's a very good defender. He's good in the face-off dot. He's not like slow on his feet or anything like that. Like his
Oh,
face-off percentage last year was above 50. Like he for his first year, he very much impressed me. Um, he like I know you said like put him on the fourth line. Like I don't think he wants to play on the fourth line, but
no, probably
he's
not.
he to me he's technically just a better Volano. Like He's
I agree
technically
with you.
tough.
No, I absolutely
Yeah.
agree with you there.
So and my thing with Lava is I think he's I don't think he's a top six center. Like maybe he develops into that sometime in his career, but like I don't think he's a top six center. And then, but you also have to, like you pointed out with Cole, like you have to think like Cole's gonna come in. I imagine him being like a third line center. People say he can be like a second line Trocheck kind of player, like later in his career, not right away, obviously. But like you also have to think about that. So it's just like that's where my hesitation is on like being like, all right, you know what, we're just gonna extend you, because I still he had a great year, but I still think he has a lot to prove. Um, but I really do like Lob, and I think we do give him like a bridge deal.
From what I've seen too, he does have a little bit of experience playing right wing in
Mm.
his hockey career. So who knows? Maybe they keep him third line, put Bodwin third line center, right, or vice versa. Maybe throw Bodwin on the wing. They could do either one,
I mean,
but either
Rangers,
way,
yeah, Rangers like stacking their centers. I mean, like there was multiple times last year where JT and Trocheck were like playing together or whatever. Like Trocheck would take depending on where the draw was, but like Trocheck would
right?
come in, take the face off, and JT would be on the ice too. So it's like it's not bad to have a lot of centers. Like you
No,
want
not at
centers who
all.
can win face offs, and you want centers who uh can play the wing too. It's just more helpful. So
Well, if we know anything, we know you're obsessed with left and centers. So don't you worry.
yeah.
So our final guy to kind of talk about when it comes to an extension is Gabe,
Mhm.
right? And this is kind of the hotbed, like well, you're looking at Carlson's deal, you're looking at Celebrini's deal. Like, yes, he's not that level. He's not going to get that level of contract, but still, it's like this is your right now, your top young player for the future. Like, this is the future of the team. Is this guy? Um, he's making 941.667. Okay, thanks, Ivan. Um,
I got that one right.
yeah, you did. I have him getting term here. I have him getting 7 years. I think they go for the longest amount they can. Um, I have his AAV somewhere between 8 and 10.
Mhm.
Am I shocked if they go more than that because of the way the market's going? No. Um, but I think right now, if I'm looking at it, again, pretty unproven, right? He hasn't even played a full season yet. So I think it's hard for me to feel convinced. And listen, Gabe's my favorite player. It's hard for me to be convinced to give him more than 10. Like as far as just being unproven. What do you think?
So this one was the toughest for me
I
because
agree.
I do really love Gabe, but the whole offer sheet this summer, like Carlson getting 18, celebrating signing for 18 plus, Bedard getting 15. Like he's not in that tier, and obviously those are all centers or whatever. But like that in general, like players making that much money, it just raises the salary for everybody else still. Like you're going to see four liners are going to start making more money. Like you're going to see teams that are going to go into their prospect pool to have fourth liners instead of signing, something like when we signed Goudreau, like you're going to see teams like
Right.
try to avoid those contracts because like they're going to want to put all their money into their top line players. So this was a tough one for me to figure out because realistically, so like I'm not comparing the two players, but like Ivan Demidov, he signed before all this happened, but
Yeah.
he
What's
got
he
like
at? He's at like 8 mil, right?
no, I think it's like nine something. He's at
9.
nine
Okay.
something. So like when I look at that, I'm like, all right, I love Gabe, but Ivan Demidov, he had the rookie season to like prove it in a sense. Gabe had a great rookie season, but he only played half the year,
Right.
and once he got the opportunity to play top line or whatever, like he really did prove himself. I think he had like whatever 20 something points in 40 something games, and he played really well. Um, I personally, I want to extend him to 7 years.
Mhm.
I don't think that happens though because a lot of these players are looking at those 5 year deals because a lot of players right now they're looking at this they're saying like why would I sign for max term when I can sign for 5 years and then sign for more money after that. So like they're looking at it from like a financial aspect too. That's why I feel like a lot of them are signing to 5 years. Like I think like, obviously before, like, we had the 8-year deals and, like, that's what players wanted. They wanted the term, the stability, the
Hmm.
protection, stay for 8 years, be there. But now players are more like it's the player empowerment era, and they're just like, "I'm gonna make the most amount of money I can in 5 years, and then when that contract's done, I'm gonna make more money after that." So, I think he's gonna probably I feel like he's gonna sign for 5 years, but I have him at 7 times 7.5. That would be my realistic, like, I don't see him a double digit right now. I don't think he's double digits. Um, I'm probably on the lower end though, to be honest. I look at it
Well,
like laugh.
I had him getting 10 because of the term. Like you said,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I think he looks at it and goes, if I'm gonna sign for 7 years, I'm gonna sign for something that in 7 years doesn't feel like I'm getting scammed, you know?
yeah. Yeah, so no, I see what you're saying now. It's just because I also look at, like, Laugh's contract. Like, Laugh, like, when he signed his extension, it was, like, 7 times. I think it was 7 times 7.5 or 7 times 7 or something like that. And I just look at that contract because they gave Laugh that contract also in the sense of, like, "Alright, like, I think you're gonna take that next step," or whatever, and obviously Laugh, I mean, everybody had a shitty year, but Laugh obviously kinda took a step back or whatever. But then obviously this year took a step up. Um, I don't know, this one's really tough for me. I have him at 7 times 7.5. I could see it being, like, 5 times 8 or something like that. Like,
Right.
I think
Somewhere in that range.
there's a lot of possibilities here. As Ranger fans, we want that 7 years.
Of course.
We want that 7 years, and you want it to be below, obviously, you want it to be below 10, but, like, because, like, if you can lock him up right now, it's just gonna save you money in the long run. Like, do not give him a bridge deal. Do not give him a
No,
bridge deal because he's also gonna be a, if we don't sign him to an extension, he's also gonna be a prime candidate for an offer sheet. Like,
he
he
will
would
get offer sheeted. Mark
yeah,
my words. If we let him go to that, he will get offer sheet.
yeah, and the one thing that I love about Gabe also though is, like, other players we've had in the past or whatever, like, just to say for example is Cooley. Like, Cooley doesn't really get top line minutes, but Gabe, he gets top line minutes. So it's not like another team could come in and be like, "Hey, we're going to give you top line minutes, accept this contract," kind of thing. Like, kind of using it as leverage in a
Right.
sense. The only thing they could possibly use over us is being like, "Hey, we'll give you top line minutes and you'll get PP one time," because that'll be more enticing for a player to sign or
Right.
whatever, regardless of the money or whatever. But like, I feel like we have to lock him up because I just want to avoid all that because imagine someone offered you Gabe and we lost Gabe. Like, we're gonna have to. We don't have anybody in our
Yeah, there
prospect
goes
pool
our
that.
future.
Yeah, like Gabe is an important piece for us, and we do need to lock him up. It's one of those things where it's just like I remember. I'm not comparing the two players, but Chicago, Frank Nazar. I think he played 59 games or something like that, and then Chicago gave him a 7-year deal for whatever amount of money because they were just like, one, like, don't want him to get off sheeted and get him taken away, and two, it's just like teams were kind of giving out contracts, being like, all right, like, you haven't played into this yet, but you're gonna play into this, and I feel like I want to give Gabe one of those contracts.
I mean, I agree with you. And the only thing kind of that I would like to touch on is like that PP1 thing. I think the Rangers are kind of already in his ear. And if they're not, I hope he's seeing it. Like, dude, JT's only got a couple more years. Like, we're gonna work you into that spot. The minute JT becomes, I think, not completely ineffective, but ineffective, I don't see why you don't put him on PP1. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You got the captain. He plays all right in PP1, right? But this is a guy who like already plays PK, already like they love JT on the draws, so they use him a lot in situational stuff. So I can see them in a way maybe wording it to JT and being like, "You're already all over the place here. You know, maybe we give Gabe that PP one time
Yeah,
later. Not
yeah,
I don't think to start the season. I don't even know about later this season, but I think within the next 2 to 3 years, they're telling Gabe already. Like Drury's probably already telling Gabe, like you're getting PP1 minutes. Like,
yeah,
don't worry about it. Me and Sully talked about it. You're getting PP1 in the next 2 to 3 years. Your stats are going to be inflated. Don't worry.
yeah. The only disadvantage Gabe has there is because, okay, one thing I will say about JT, I'm not gonna ignore JT's last season, but he was definitely playing hurt, and
Mhm.
I don't want to call him a power play specialist. But, like, when he had his 100-point season, he had a crap ton of points on the power play.
Of
Like,
course. No, of course.
he knows how to dish out the puck, and,
Absolutely.
and And the one disadvantage Gabe has to JT is a center, and like you want to have two centers out there. So obviously you have Mika and JT. Like then you have Doro Laugh, and then if Gabe was out there, but like they don't they don't take draws. So like that's where the disadvantage is. Where like you kind of need JT out there because you do want two centers out there. But I totally agree with you. I think in like 2 to 3 years or whatever, like JT's 34, starting 35. Like I'm not saying he needs to take a step back because I still
No,
think he
there's an
can
expiration
produce.
date though.
Yes, exactly, and like that's the scary thing about the Rangers is Mika and JT both being because even Mika
I know.
like Mika's 34, and I'm not taking Mika out of power play because he's got that one timer he has that over JT. But it's the same concept. Like how much longer are they going to be able to be out there and produce at that level?
I think Mika outplays JT like time wise, just purely for the fact of his play style, right?
Hmm.
I feel like Mika is really, really smart about when he picks and chooses to be physical.
Hmm.
Um, we've seen him make some crazy open ice hits, and you're like, holy shit, Mika. But it's not all the time. He's not getting physical on the boards a lot of, you know what I mean? Like he's a guy who's pretty reserved, and I think he takes really good care of his body. Plus, we know him. He wants to stay in New York. He wants to play. This guy has made it very, very clear. Like, I want to be in New York. I want to break records, which he already is. You know what I mean? Like, this is a guy who's going to spend. I don't think JT has that mindset. So I think his expiration date comes a little bit before Mika's.
Yeah, he just like you said, he plays a more physical game, so it's more demanding on his body and stuff like that.
Right,
Like
and he's
Mika,
dealt with injuries. Yeah,
yeah, and Mika doesn't play a heavy game, but he when he does like go on the boards and stuff like that, I don't want to say late hits because it's Mika. He doesn't really like fully late hits like JT would, but he just plays a smarter, less physical
yeah,
game.
physical enough,
Yeah,
right? It
exactly.
feels like he's using it just to be physical enough. It's not
Yeah,
a main focal
yeah,
point of his game.
exactly. Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Here's the fun part that for some reason makes Ivan nervous every time we do a game on here. Um, we're doing build your lineup. So the format for this game, Ivan's gonna have $20 to spend. Obviously, six positions in hockey. So we're just doing an offensive line, a defensive pairing, and a goalie.
Yeah.
He's not going to know what position's coming next. He's not going to know who the players in that next. So he's going to be able to spend $20. He's got a $5 through a $1 option. And we're going to keep track of his money and kind of move on. So building your perfect Rangers lineup here. Okay. At center is your first position. Your $5 option, Jean Rattel, Ranger
Mm,
legend.
mm.
Okay. $4 option, Derek Brassard. $3 option, Sean Avery. $2 option, Johnny Brodzinski. $1 option, Elias Anderson.
Ooh, okay. So do I want to spend my 5 now? Derek Brassard was one of my
Is your
favorite
$4
Rangers.
option. Yep.
Yeah, and he was one of my favorite Rangers. I love Derek Brassard. I'm gonna go with Derek Brassard at $4,
All
honestly.
right, there we go. So we got $16 left.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Your next position, left wing. Okay. Your $5 option, Artemi Panarin.
Mhm.
$4 option, Chris Kreider.
Ooh.
$3 option, Rick Nash. $2 option, Jimmy Vesey. $1 option, everybody's favorite, Connor Sheary.
Mm.
You got $16 to spend.
This is a tough one, actually.
Yep. You got Derek Brassard in the center.
Trying to think. Hmm. Derek Brassard, because my natural reaction is to go for Panarin,
Of course.
but then like Greiger and Rick Nash are both very suitable. You know what? I
And
might go
who do we
Rick
got
Nash for
coming
three
up?
dollars.
Rick Nash at
Yeah,
3. We're taking the value.
I like
Okay,
Rick
cool.
Nash for
So you
three.
got you got $13 left. You've got Derek Brassard in the center. You've got Rick Nash on the left side. For your right wing, you've got $5 option, Andy Bathgate. Okay, another Rangers legend. $4, Ryan Callahan.
Okay,
$3 option, Jesper Fast.
okay.
$2 option, Barkley Goodrow. $1, another one of my favorites, Riley Smith on the right wing.
I was low key hoping you would say Zuccarello because then I'd just be building the 2014 Rangers right here.
Yeah, I know.
Um, hmm. You said Callahan was 5, or no? Who's
Callie
5?
is your $4 option. Andy
Who's
Bathgate, Rangers legend. 729 total points.
I want to save my $5 options, but I feel like you're gonna screw me. I'm gonna go
It's
Ryan
always
Callahan.
possible.
I'm gonna go Ryan Callahan 4.
All right, so you get left with $9. You've
Right.
got your forwards are Derek Brassard in the center. Left wing, you got Rick Nash. Right wing, you got Ryan Callahan. Not a bad forward line. $9 left. Your left D. Okay. $5 option, Brian Leach.
Fuck this. Damn it.
Wait. $4 option, Brad Park, another Rangers legend.
Mm-hmm.
$3 option, Keandre Miller.
Okay.
$2 option, our boy from Spittin' Chicklets, Keith Yandel. And a $1 option, Matthew Robertson, what we got right now. You got $9 to spend.
So I feel like I gotta go cheap here because
Okay.
my mindset was I'm gonna spend heavy on goalie and D.
And right thing.
And obviously Brian Leach at 5. I'm just trying to think who the value would be in the next D position. And there's one name I'm hoping you're gonna say. I'm gonna go 5. That would put me.
Dude,
Oh,
$9.
I don't think I go 5 here because that would only put me at $4. All right, I'm gonna take a risk here. I'm taking. No, am I? Damn.
Come on.
All right, give me because if I do $2, I might regret this. How am I gonna pass out Brian Leach? Give me. Oh God. Give me Brian. Give me Brian Leach at 5.
Brian Leach at $5. You got $4 left. Right D. You would have been able to get Adam Fox for $5. Okay. Right
Didn't
D.
want Fox.
It's obviously off the table. $4. Again, kind of tough because then you're with no goalie, but you got Dan Girardi. $3. You've got Jacob Trouba.
Okay, I'm good.
$2, you got Braden Schneider.
Damn it, that's tough. Okay.
And $1, you got Zach Jones.
Fuck. I was really I loved Kevin Klein. I thought you were gonna say Kevin Klein here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
$4 to spend. 2 positions.
Who was my $3 option?
Your $3 option is Jacob Trouba.
I messed up. I should have went Keith Yandel at the other one. I should have went Keith. Oh God. Give me Trouba.
Who?
Trouba.
You're taking Trouba for $3.
What was my other option? Zach Jones at 1.
Zach Jones at 1. Braden Schneider at 2.
God, they're like the same. No, I like Trouba just because he's a truck. Give me Trouba.
Okay. You have $1 left in the goalie session.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy. So,
Hope
for our
Mackenzie
goalies.
Skatsky.
Yeah. No, that would be what? He's sick. All right. For your $5 option for our goalies here. Obviously, Hank Lundqvist, right? For $5. For $4, Igor. Nice. It would have been a nice value there. $3, John Davidson, Ranger legend. $2, Cam Talbot.
Fuck.
Mr. Journeyman himself. Would have been a grab, right?
No, I would have loved
that
Cam.
was, and that was like my secret, really good value one. $1 option, who you have to take at this point. Junis Korpisalo. Enjoy. You're going to have a great season this season. So let's go through your final lineup. So you ended up with Derek Brassard in the center. Left wing was Rick Nash. Right wing was Ryan Callahan. Left D, you took Brian Leach. And right D, you took Jacob Trouba. And for goalie, you have Junis Korpisalo. You got a great back end. I don't know if I agree, but
that was, to be
it's tough
honest,
when it's blind. It's tough when it's blind.
To be honest, I hate my team, mainly because of the last 2 picks. I wish I went Yandel at 2. Then I wish I went. Who was $4?
For where?
D. Where
for
it was
right
Adam
D?
Fox. Yeah, it was Adam Fox and then someone else.
For $4 with Dan Girardi.
Oh God, I don't even like those.
I know.
I mean, this was. I like Brassard. I'm picking Brassard there every day.
We know. I know.
Yeah.
That's why I put center first.
Nash,
I knew you were going to spend the money.
I think Nash was. I think that was the best value pick I had. Was Nash at $3?
Oh, for sure. 252 total points. Yeah, not bad at all.
Ryan Callahan, I would have preferred him at $3. That's where I would have preferred him.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
Then, oh God, damn it! Talbot was so. Cause if it was Talbot, I would have actually really liked his lineup. I'm not gonna lie,
I
but
agree with you.
yeah,
And you all you had to do is save $1 somewhere else.
that's tough. I mean, like I don't obviously I don't know what's coming, so that was
That's
actually
tough.
tougher than I thought it was gonna be.
Good job. So there's your Rangers all time
Uh,
little list build there. So kind of wrapping things up again, we talked about. It's coming down to kind of the lull of the off season.
mhm,
Um, keep up the engagement, guys. I know it's tough, but the only way to get through it is together. And if you need a little bit of hockey love and you're feeling the itch, reach out.
mhm,
Reach out on X, reach out on Insta, reach out on TikTok. We're on everything. We love talking to you. I mean, I just kind of wanted to throw this message in there because we have been talking amongst ourselves about how we're so excited to just have this community kind of be building, and to be able to have this discourse and have more people to talk to. So if you and I'm hoping you've seen it. If you respond to us on socials, we respond back
yeah.
every time. So please keep it up. We love you guys. We love being able to build this community, and hopefully we keep it moving.
Yeah, I love all the engagement, honestly, and I hope that continues. And also, if you guys have something you want us to talk about during the fall of the season,
Oh yeah,
shoot us a tweet, whatever, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We'll see it, and we can talk about it on the pod. Like you
absolutely.
said, it's the lull of the season, so there's not that much to talk about. But I'm very excited for the start of the season. I think when things get rolling, it'll just get more fun and stuff like that. I'm excited to do the pod.
It'll be here before you know it.
Yeah,
All right, so I mean, like we said, if you don't already, follow us on X, Insta, TikTok, whatever you need. We have it all, and thank you for listening.